hang this evening, and I have got a special guest tonight too. He's a very dear friend, and sometimes you meet people in your life that have such an impact on you, and this person most certainly does. And before I tell you who it is, I'd like to talk about how we met. And I used to work in a drum shop in Brighton, which was called the Drum Cavern, and it was part of GAC. If anybody knows that company, it's a very successful company. And I worked there from when I was 15, and I was obviously a very keen drummer, be working in the drum shop. And I guess you think you sort of know it all. You're thinking, yeah, I work in the drum shop, blah, 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 at that age, you know. So, and you kind of hear the names of the local drummers who you hear about from other drummers coming through. Oh, have you heard this guy play? Have you heard this guy? And this gentleman who's going to be with me tonight was one of the people's names who I always heard. You've got to see him play. You've got to see him play. And I thought, well, that would be great, you know. And I was very keen to find out more. And the person I'm talking about is Spike Wells, who is, you know, a British jazz drumming legend. He was in the Tubby Hayes group. He was the house drummer at Ronnie Scott's in the late 60s. He played with Johnny Griffin. He's played with Stan Getz. He is a master musician. And the first time I met him, he came in to try out a snare drum. And I was like, oh. And we got talking, and then he said, oh, I'm Spike Wells. I'd heard the name. I was like, oh, you're Spike. I've heard about you. And I was very keen to show him the drum, and I was very keen to give him the sticks and hear him play on the drum, you know. And this was this first sort of sledgehammer over the head kind of moment, really, because you're kind of watching drummers who have a lot of technique, and when you're young at that age, you're really impressed with this kind of big sort of movements when people are playing, and lots of fills and that sort of thing. You think, oh yeah, that's where it's at. But Spike really hit me over the head, because the minute he played, I just heard the music in his playing just from playing a snare drum, you know. And it wasn't about that. And I looked at the way he was left-handed and the way he was holding the sticks, and I thought, oh, that's different to what I'm used to seeing. But it just made so much sense musically. And I said, where are you playing? I want to come and see you play. And he was playing at the Hare and Hounds in Worthing. And so I went along, and I can't remember who was in the band. And I remember Spike had a Black Pearl kit, which sounded incredible. It was these fiberglass shells, I believe. And that night I heard all the jazz drummers that I'd love to hear. I heard Elvin, I heard Roy Haynes, I heard Jack DeJohnette, all in this one person. And it just completely knocked me out. And from then on, I would go and see Spike so many times. I've seen him play countless times, really, over the years. And you know, it's been great to see him as much as I could. And he's been a real influence and very helpful for me learning to play the drums as well. And he has a great approach to the drums, because he's not thinking about the drums. I think he thinks about the music first. And it's not unusual to see musicians in the group where Spike is playing turn around to him and be asking about the tune they're going to play and about the form. And that is the mark of an incredible musician. I think that incredible drummer, that the musicians in the band are looking at the drummer thinking, oh, how should we play this tune, you know. And that's not unusual for that to happen. And he seems to have an endless repertoire of jazz bebop tunes. He knows all the heads. He can play wonderful solos. And I'm always very surprised when I go and see Spike play that there's not more drummers in the audience. I'm thinking this is like, for me personally, it's been like seeing Roy Haynes, Elvin, all in this one person, you know. And for me, it's been very special. So you should definitely see Spike wherever you can. But he's here now, and I want to bring him into the chat. And
hi,
how you doing,
Russ? What an amazing introduction. I can't live up to that.
Well, anyway. Hopefully the check's in the post, Spike. Hopefully, yeah. No, I mean it. I mean, you are very, and most importantly, a very dear friend to me.
Yeah.
And
I love you, Russ. We've known
I love you
each
to
other
bits
for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
It must be 20 years now, over
Yeah,
20 years.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Hmm.
crazy. So
Wow.
you're playing in Brighton on Saturday, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I've got a gig at the newly flourishing Verdict, which is
Yeah.
it's always been it's the best jazz club in Brighton, and it was
Yeah.
very sad that it was in the doldrums, all locked away dark during the lockdown. You
Yeah.
know, we didn't know quite when or how it was going to get going again. But Tristan Banks, who
Oh,
is a
yeah.
great, lovely drummer and Latin percussionist, and a
Yes.
friend of mine. I mean, he's got the Verdict going again,
He's
and
done such a great job, and I've
he's
seen
done a
him,
great
you know.
job, and he's had some great bands down there, and
Yeah.
I'm really so pleased to see it doing well again, you know?
Yeah. Without him, it would have just been, I don't know what would have happened. He's
Yeah,
really kind of
no, he's really
rescued.
saved the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
Tristan. Yeah, we all owe him a great debt of thanks. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone hasn't been to see Tristan play as well, what a
Oh,
wonderful
wow. Yeah,
drummer, you know.
he's
So
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, love
yeah.
his playing. Yeah.
And a great friend of both of us too, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I wish I was around on Saturday. I'd be coming to the Verdict. You know,
Yeah,
tell us
so
about the group.
okay, well, anyway, on Saturday we're playing down at the Verdict with
Yeah.
the band that I'm now putting a lot of my efforts into, which is called Cow, and it's spelt Qow. And if
Yeah.
that sounds a bit wacky, it's not our idea. It's named after a tune composed by Dewey Redman,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
we actually play that tune as part of our repertoire, and we thought
Ah,
we'd make that the name of the band as well. And
right.
what I love about playing with Cow is that it's so creative and so um, free, and also we kind of delve into all the treasures of jazz because um, let me say first of all that Eddie Meyer, the bass player,
Yes.
who really is responsible for getting the band together and hustling for gigs and things. I mean, he's such a lovely player. He's a great rock bass guitarist,
Yes.
incidentally.
Been in
Plays
some
with
bands, hasn't he?
Turin
Some
Breaks.
bands. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. But when he goes on the string bass
Mm.
and plays jazz, he's really into some really lovely old-fashioned kind of style. People like George Tucker and
Oh,
Wilbur
yeah.
Ware,
Yeah.
even before Paul Chambers, you know, and
Mm.
got that lovely feel and sound like those guys, and it's really lovely to play with him.
Mm.
And the third member of the group is the tenor player, Riley Stone Lonergan,
Mm.
is an absolute phenomenon. He really is such a brilliant player. I can't believe it. The first time Eddie brought him round to my house for a blow, we
Yeah.
played a couple of tunes, and I said, "Oh God, this is a trio made in heaven. We've got to do this," you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And the lovely thing is that you see, my jazz tastes are very Catholic. I go right back to Lester Young
Mm.
and the Basie Band, and then I go through bebop, hard bop, and I love really free jazz as well. And
Mm.
so does Riley. You see, I mean, he's
Ah,
a young guy. He's only 30, early 30s, and
yeah.
he loves Lester Young. He knows
Brilliant.
all about Lester Young, and
Yeah.
at the same time, he's well into Coltrane and Pharaoh Saunders and Dewey Redman, and we so consequently the repertoire of the band is extremely wide. You know, we
Yeah.
play lovely old standards. We play a tune based on a solo by Lester Young,
Right.
and at the same time, we're playing Cow by Dewey Redman, and we're also playing several other tunes, modern tunes, where we can play free and you
Yeah.
know, no changes. The tempos sort of are very flexible and everything. So it's like a history of jazz
Wow.
in one band, and I love it. And it's the best thing I've got involved in since the Bobby Wellins Quartet. Do you
Wow.
know? Because
Yeah.
I mean, the Bobby Wellins Quartet was my whole life, and now Bobby's gone, and Riley and Cal are just such a new buzz for me, and I really love it. And
Wow.
I absolutely implore everybody. I usually say within 100-mile radius.
Yes.
Come to the verdict. Come to the verdict.
Yeah.
Edward Street, Brighton, 8 o'clock on Saturday night, the 21st, this
Yeah.
Saturday. And do come and catch us because I just love this. I love working with this band.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Eddie's kindly sent us a discount code for anybody who kind of
Ah,
follows Drum Hangs.
nice
They can
one.
get £5 off a ticket. It's verdict_jazz at the checkout. The event's on Eventbrite, I believe.
Yeah.
So yes, they can get a discount, which is great. So please go along and see Spike if you're in Brighton. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to say to you, Spike,
Yeah.
is you've introduced me to so many records. You know, some of my favorite memories in when I've been learning about drums and music, coming to your house and checking out records with you. You know, and we
Yeah.
just kind of yeah, it's just been a great thing to be
Yeah.
able
I
to
mean,
do with you. Really.
you know, as I say, I love all sorts of jazz from the 1930s onwards up to
Yeah,
the present moment. And I've got records of the best of all those eras that
yeah,
we've listened to together, which is
yeah.
lovely.
It's
Yeah,
been magical. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And the other thing, which I mean, anybody, because Spike was a guest at Drum Hangs, which that seems like a long time ago we did that, doesn't it?
yeah.
It was
I was very honoured.
2020.
Beyond
Yeah.
that, I mean, you've had so many fantastic drummers. I don't know what on earth you were doing asking me to do it, but it was a great.
It's all my favorite drummers come to Drum
Really
Hangs.
enjoyed it. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
good. It was great fun, and anybody who was there, um, you know, something which I learned, uh, you know, pretty on early on in our friendships is you'd had lessons with Philly Joe
I
Jones,
did. Yes, I did. I was
you
very
know,
lucky. Yeah, yeah.
and yeah, tell us a bit about that.
Well, Philly Joe came to live in London for about 18 months, I think, around 1967, 1968,
Yeah,
which was just at the time when I was turning pro and shortly joined Tubby, you know, and
yeah,
he was living with a bass player called John Hart in John's flat in Hampstead,
mm,
and we all the London drummers, well, a lot of them
yeah,
traipsed up to Hampstead to have lessons with Philly Joe, and I was one of them, and that
wow,
was a gas. Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
you went on tour with him one time, didn't you? As well,
yeah. Well, not with him, but on the
no,
same tour.
yeah,
It was Premier Percussion, you know, Premier Drums.
yeah,
They put on this jazz tour in 1969, I think it was,
yeah,
um, uh, with a great bill. I mean, there was the main act was the Francie Boland, Kenny Clark
oh
big
yeah,
band
yeah.
with people like Johnny Griffin in it, you
Oh
know,
wow,
and also on the bill was the Roland Kirk Quartet, which
yeah,
I was playing with.
yeah,
I was playing with Roland, and then on the first act on the first half was Philly Joe with Jimmy Wood, the bass player from Duke Ellington's band, you know,
yeah.
and Benny Bailey on trumpet.
Wow,
Just a trio, no piano, just
yeah,
trumpet, bass, and drums. so Philly Joe was on the tour and on the coach. We all travelled in the same coach, which was a real education for me. Unbelievable, really, being on the band bus with Kenny Clark and Philly Joe and
That's
Johnny Griffin and Roland
yeah.
Kirk. Oh God, you know, it was
That's
amazing.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. So, what
And
did you pick anything up from Philly Joe? What
well, I mean,
you would have done, I guess.
I
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I always loved listening to him on that tour, and also, of
yeah,
course, I'd had these lessons with him,
yeah,
and I did run into him a few more times. You know, I remember I was playing at the Norwegian jazz festival at Kongsberg with
yeah.
John Taylor's sextet, and Philly Joe was also on that on that festival, playing with Sonny Stitt.
Oh,
Uh,
I love Sunny
and
Stitt.
I remember we arrived at Kongsberg at the airport, and I saw Philly Joe on the carousel waiting for his cymbals to come round, and he had this beautiful overcoat just draped over his shoulders and a sort of king size cigarette. He just looked like God, you know.
Yeah.
And then I found that in fact when we all got through customs and out, we were sharing a taxi into
Ah,
the festival, you know.
yeah.
And there was so it was a taxi with me and my wife and Philly and Sonny Stitt, you know,
Wow.
and we were looking at each other's passports, you know, and his said Joseph Jones, you
Yeah.
know, with a sort of, sort of mugshot, and then Edward Stitt with another mugshot.
That's brilliant.
Oh God, oh, it was amazing,
Oh
wonderful. I've
man.
had so many great experiences. I've been very
Yeah.
lucky, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, we could go all day, I think, with
Mm,
some of the things
mm.
you've been up to. You know, what an amazing life you've had.
I
And
know. Yeah, it's
yeah,
been great. Yeah, and I'm
yeah,
so just to give us another plug, you know, I'm just so pleased that Cow's happening now
yeah.
because it's really revitalized me. I mean, I'm now they call me a legend, which means that obviously I'm over the hill. You know, I'm in my mid 70s, but I'm really enjoying playing with Cow and the other gigs I'm doing. You know, so,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah,
looking forward to seeing because it's been too long. I haven't seen you play for
I
a
know.
long time now,
Yeah,
with obviously pandemic and things like that.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
but soon, soon, you know.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
lovely. Yeah, and
and
congratulations on your
yeah,
your son
yeah,
who's now arrived. That must be a great joy. Yeah,
yeah, it is, and
yeah.
yeah, we'll get some sleep soon. You know, soon
Oh,
we'll get some sleep. So
well,
yeah,
yeah, that's part of the price for the pleasure, you
but
know.
he's looking forward to meeting you as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do a drum battle or
Yeah,
something,
we will.
the 3
Yeah,
of
yeah.
us, you know.
The other thing I was wanted to say as well, if anybody, um, there are a few things on of YouTube of you kind of playing, but obviously it's better to check out records of you playing on. But there's one particular um, clip which I love to go back to all the time on YouTube,
Oh,
is
yeah?
you playing with the Tubby Hayes Big Band,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and it's at Ronnie Scott's, and it is
Yes.
absolutely steaming. It's
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
that was a great band, that Tubby Big Band. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
and you'll be able to find it. I think if anyone searches Tubby Hayes Big Band at Ronnie Scott's, they'll find the
The trouble
thing.
is that it's not a very good copy because
No,
the story is that I think you know, as they used to, the BBC sort of wiped the tapes or something. You know,
right.
absolute vandalism.
Yeah,
But one day, somebody in America
yeah,
had recorded it, you know,
yeah.
on some sort of primitive video machine, and they sent a tape of it to Gordon Beck. You remember Gordon Beck,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
the pianist?
yeah,
And Gordon then started sort of making copies and sending them to people who'd been on the group, on the broadcast, including me, you know.
yeah,
And somebody's put it up on YouTube. It's you know, you can watch it. It's not very good quality, but
Right.
it sounds all right. It sounds all right, you know,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
is very exciting. It
Yeah.
is very
Well, the
exciting.
tune you play, I think it's In a Splurge or
Oh,
something like
yeah,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's just
and Dear
absolutely
Johnny
brilliant.
B, that's a nice one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But everybody should check that out because it
right,
really is.
yeah.
Yeah, you are.
It
You're
was
flying on
it
that.
was steaming. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It
Mick
really
Pine on
was.
piano and Ron Matheson on bass. Yeah.
Yeah, and people talk about, uh, uh, we have a lot of American friends at drum hangs. Of course, we do. American big
Mm.
bands, yeah, wonderful. But this band is really something else on this Tubby Hayes at Ronnie Scott's, and
Oh,
Spike is in the
I
engine room, you know.
I
So
think, I'd prefer to listen to Mel Lewis and Brad Jones personally, but you're very kind.
wow, you know. Well, this has been great, and
Okay. Mm.
I'm gonna let you head off,
Yeah.
and
Well, come on down, everybody, come on down to the Verdict on Saturday, and,
go to Brighton on Saturday. What a day out
Cowes
they could have. They
Cowes Gas. Yeah.
they could go to the pier in the
Of
daytime,
course.
fish and
Yeah,
chips, and then head up the
yeah.
road to the Verdict. Why not?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Good idea, Russell. Thanks, mate.
And email me. It's the discount code for the tickets, verdict_jazz. And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on, Spike. And
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Always
the
lovely to talk to you.
absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. And you.
Okay, mate. All the best.
I'll let you go. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
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 Wow, that was Spike Wells there, and yeah, an honor to have him on. And like I say, great friend and just incredible drummer. You should go and see him if you're not aware of Spike and you haven't checked him out before. It'll knock you over the head with a sledgehammer because you'll hear somebody who serves the music and plays the drums in such a an amazing way. It's I love going to watch him play. So yeah, it's great to have him on. And this Sunday as well, we've got a hang with David Garibaldi from Tower of Power at Drum Hangs. It's just £5 a ticket. Drum Hangs is 2 years old now, so we thought we'd celebrate with the hang with David Garibaldi. And when you book the ticket, you can get 20% off his new book, DG's Notebook, as well. So effectively, the hang is free. So come along, interact with David in real time, ask him any questions about his time with Tower of Power and anything you want to go through with the book with him. You can demonstrate the stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. So thanks for joining us. And yeah, I'll have another guest on soon, I guess. And more ramblings about drums and music and all the things we like to chat about as drummers. So yeah, have fun, everyone. Take care. See you soon. Bye.